Welcome to this week's episode of Work and Travel TV. I'm Leah Bolton, and this is the show that helps adventurous types like you see the world and make money at the same time.
Oh yeah!
In today's episode of Work and Travel TV, we'll get to hear from a travel expert on teaching English abroad. He's going to talk to you about his experience and how you can do it also. And we will explore the newest addition to the Travel Toolbox. To go with the Teaching English theme, we're going to explore a site with accredited TEFL courses and jobs worldwide. And today's travel tip is how to pinpoint the best time to purchase the cheapest airline tickets. This week's question is sent in by Chris. He asks, how long is a typical cruise ship contract and how much time will I have off before I go back to the ship? It's a trick question because there is no right answer for that. It really depends on the job position you have and what your contract states. The average and most standard contract duration is about 6 months' time with about 1 to 2 months off. But I've known people to be contracted for as little as a week and as much as 8 to 10 months. For example, a lot of youth staff positions are seasonal when there's more children on board. So sometimes they have shorter contracts for only a week at a time or a month at a time. The key is to look over your contract thoroughly and request an adjustment if needed. If you have a question about working and traveling as well, please feel free to submit your questions through the Ask Leah page through the tab at the top.
Travel tips.
Today's travel tip, how to pinpoint the best time to purchase the cheapest airline tickets. How many times have you spent hours online researching for the best flight prices or flipping through the paper for a deal that stands out? No fun at all, really. Here's the deal. All travel agents and airline consolidators, an airline ticket reseller, have the same access to the same flights. And most airlines have figured out the best system to make the most money from us. Here's some simple guidelines to follow when booking a flight. If it's prime time holiday time, your ticket will be more expensive. When choosing the cheapest day of the week, generally you're looking at probably a Wednesday. Friday and Sunday are the most expensive days. The cheapest time to fly is usually early in the morning, and the cheapest time to purchase a ticket is generally on a Tuesday afternoon. But beware, discounted prices will usually be pulled by Thursday and raised again for the weekend. Also, don't shop too early for flights. Purchasing a year in advance doesn't mean you're going to get the best deal. I find that airlines won't discount their tickets until about 3 months before departure for domestic travel and about 4 months for international. As well, don't shop too late either. There's a point where the airline will boost the price right back up. So you're watching the price every day to see it go down and then all of a sudden right back up again. If you're worried you are going to miss the window, I find the best way to catch the deals is to sign up online with the airlines you wish to travel with, and they will automatically send you an email when there is a seat sale. Today on Work and Travel TV, our special guest is James Boucher, a former English teacher abroad in countries such as Chile, Japan, New Zealand, Korea, and Bolivia. James, thank you for hanging out with us today.
Pleasure, Leah. Thanks for having me.
So James, about 3 to 4 years on the road of working and traveling. What's it been like for you?
It's been good. Teaching is a great way to spend time in a particular place. I had an interest in several countries, wanted a way to stay there, and teaching was a way to facilitate that.
All right, James, tell me how you first got into teaching English abroad. You woke up one day and decided this is what you wanted to do, or you did some detective work and research to get there?
I was traveling and I met some people who had just come back from a year in Japan on the Japanese exchange and teaching program. And I thought it would be a handy qualification to have. So I did a 4-week TEFL course in London and just put that qualification in my back pocket for a later date. Most course providers, including the one I went through, help with job placement once you've graduated. I wasn't ready to leave and start teaching at that point in time, so I didn't take advantage of those opportunities. But when I did start traveling, it was very easy to find work.
Tell me about the TEFL TESOL programs in particular. What's the best way to go about that?
There are dozens, if not hundreds, of course providers throughout the world. There are certainly scores of them in Canada which offer full-time and part-time study in TEFL-approved courses. I did it in 4 weeks, full-time study. You can do your minimum qualification in 6 weeks part-time study.
James, tell me about the pros and cons. Tell me about your experience in particular. What are the great things to the job, and what are some of the things that people need to look out for?
Well, listen, teaching English abroad is a great way to make money in your travels, to either stay in a place you want to be for a longer amount of time or to see something completely new. My personal experience, the pros far outweighed the cons, but some things that you should look out for, especially for somebody doing it for the first time, is that all schools, employers, and private institutes run things a little differently. While some pay a lot of money, others pay less money. And while some will help you with things like accommodation, others leave you to fend for yourself. So it would be really worthwhile to do a little research into who you might be working for before taking that plunge.
Briefly tell me what a typical day is like teaching English abroad.
Your typical day will really depend on whether you're working for a school or a private institute. It's generally as simple as getting up, going to work. You're either assisting a teacher in a primary, intermediate, or high school, or you're running classes at a private institute, and you could have as many as 6 to 30 pupils in front of you.
For those who are interested in teaching English as well, what advice can you give them if they want to give it a try?
The best thing you could do is to actually get a qualification. Although it is possible to find work teaching abroad, usually at private institutes, without a qualification, it's much, much simpler if you have one. The easiest way to go about that is to simply hop online. There are hundreds of websites that you can look at that will direct you towards your closest course provider.
Well, thanks again, James, for joining us on this week's episode of Work and Travel TV. We really appreciate all of your advice and taking the time to share your experience with us all. We look forward to more tips from you in the future.
The Travel Toolbox.
Today, we'll be taking a look at i2i.com, a site with accredited TEFL courses and jobs worldwide. Head on over to the Travel Toolbox page. The latest site will be posted with a link at the top of the list. Here we go. Just scroll down and you'll see links from previous episodes as well. The one we're going to focus on is this one here. If you click on it, it will take you directly to i2i.com. So here we are, tons of information on this page. We're going to focus on 3 different elements right now: TEFL courses, jobs abroad, and TEFL newbies. You can also click on these tabs, they go to the same link. So TEFL courses, finding TEFL jobs abroad, and FAQs is for TEFL newbies for all your questions. So we're going to click on the first one, TEFL courses. It brings you to another page. Now at the moment they have some pretty awesome deals if you're interested in getting started. Some of the best that I've seen. There's 2 ways of going about it. You can either go to a classroom or take an online course. So you can save some money right now. If you're not ready to get started, there will be more deals coming up. Also, a free TEFL ebook, more information in that, and it's free, so you can't go wrong with that. We're going to move on here to finding TEFL jobs abroad. If you're not sure which area you want to go to or what the difference is, there's a bit more information here. Asia, Europe, Middle East, Latin America, and Africa. So just check that out if you're interested in learning more about the different places and what's involved. Going to move over here to FAQs for the newbies. Answer all of your questions in this section. Free TEFL consultation. So if you're not quite sure yet if this is what you want to do, you might want to check that out. As well, scroll down the page. Free TEFL resources. Can't go wrong with free, like I said. So tons of free stuff here if you want to check it out. And as well, they have a cute little video. If you're not 100% sure what TEFL is all about, you're not alone. Just check out this vid that they've made here. So there you go. Tons of information. Great site to check out. i2i.com. Teach English abroad. So there you go. You can find this site in the Travel Toolbox page where it continues to grow every episode. Work and Travel TV will be your one-stop shop for all of your travel tips and landing that travel job. That's it for today's episode of Work and Travel TV, the show that helps adventurous types like you see the world and make money at the same time. In the next episode of Work and Travel TV, we'll be speaking with an expert who worked at an all-inclusive resort chain called Club Med. And we'll have a new addition to the Travel Toolbox as well as another useful travel tip for your journeys. We're here to give you the ins and outs and help you find that perfect job out there. I'm Leah Bolton, and thanks for watching.